in 1999, which is 10 years after this was made, I saw this in the classifieds and decided that I needed a GTi in my life.
But first, our friends at Lancaster Insurance are running monthly giveaways. You can win all sorts, from experience days to tools, restaurant vouchers and tech. So click the link below at the end of the video to enter their latest competition.
Well, I did have a Jetta before this one. I had a 1.8 automatic Jetta probably in the mid-90s, I think. Yeah, it would have been the mid-90s. And I bought that with quite a low mileage, probably 38,000 miles on a D plate. And I had that for, probably did about 100,000 miles in that car over time. But in 1999, which is 10 years after this was made, I saw this in the classifieds and decided that I needed a GTi in my life, as well as the automatic. So I went down and viewed it and paid £2,000 for this. Yeah, so when I got it, it had 110,000 miles on the clock already, and it drove quite nicely at that sort of mileage. I think the mileage today is 141, and obviously it hasn't been used for a number of years. Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, the power was unbelievable for a car of this age, and really enjoyed driving it at the time. Generally, in the 30,000 miles that I did in the car, I haven't really, apart from servicing, I haven't really done anything to it. The exhaust, you'll probably see later that the exhaust is a bit hideous. It's a stainless steel affair that I bought, stainless steel exhaust that I bought, and that's basically all I've done in terms of the rest of it's all original. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's been in a lockup for a number of years. Probably 15 years it's been in a lockup, maybe more. And it's one of those cars where I've got other projects on the go elsewhere, and this is 60 miles from my house, and I just left it there, and I didn't bother with it. I didn't actually bother with it, unfortunately. But being in a lockup, I wasn't really too bothered. Wasn't too worried that it was going to get rotten, because it was quite dry in there. So I managed to buy a second-hand pump, which is a specific one for the GTi. And I bought one from Spain. It's the cheapest one I could find, and the actual postage to send it here was £60. So it was. If you do find one on the internet, they're probably about £250 to buy a pump. So I've got the pump. It's just we tried to make the engine work, but it didn't. Yeah. So if we go back to my first car, it was a Ford, and my dad was kind of like a Ford man as well. So when I got into cars, I was a Ford man. I had an Escort to start with, and then I had a Capri, and then I had another Capri, which I've still got. And someone I know was working at a Volkswagen Audi dealership, and we were looking for a car to drive, around locally, and they said that there's a trade-in just come in, a 6-year-old Volkswagen Jetta, automatic 1.8, and so we give it to you at a good price. It's a trade-in. Come and have a look if you want. So I went down and had a look, and I bought this Jetta GL, 1.8 GL, automatic, and we kept it for a long time. We kept it for 10 years or more. Then I sold it to a mate, and he kept it for another 5 years. It was a good car, but in the meantime, I was obviously looking at GTIs, and the Jetta is a bit rarer than the Golf, and I saw one come up for sale, and this one was in the classifieds in Kent. So I went down there with the money. I think I actually had the money in my hand. So I went down there and I bartered with him and got it for 2,000. So the 1.8 GL had a carburettor on it, and I remember that we did a feature for car mechanics on changing the carburettor to a Weber carburettor, and that was gave it a little bit more power maybe, but it wasn't deemed to be a powerful car. It was the thing about the GTI has got fuel injection, so it's totally different setup and more power, and 16 valves, whereas the 1.8 GL was 8 valves. So for me, I was approached whether I would sell my car to Classics World, and I thought, well, now's the time. If I don't, I'm not going to get time to work on it myself. I'm going to have to, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it to Classics World. So hopefully they can get it running. It's a fuel issue in this car. It's got the fuel pump is broken.
This video is proudly sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Give them a call on 01480 400 889 for an insurance quote on your classic car. And don't forget to click the link below to enter their latest competition.